just some black trousers and a white t-shirt, but it's more a miniskirt and like a flounce top or a silky dress, because then when I feel it as my best, it's always the times that I do not care what people think, or I do not acknowledge what their emotion might be. So in many ways, the stealth mode or like dressing down are just when you are not feeling as strong, but when you have those days that you really just do not care and just it's for you, then it's all dressing feminine or dressing in a more creative way. I like it because it's perceived as submissive, it's perceived as a weakness, but I just feel as when I'm at my power mode or my power era, it's all about how I am feminine. Like how I dress or how I do my makeup or my nails or my hair, I think it gives me so much more than masculinity. And the same thing that people expect you to be in a philosophical sense weaker or submissive when you are presenting feminine. But I think that's totally the opposite, because if you walk out in this society, that it's a hell of a lot stronger to be able to do that in this environment of societal demands and standards on femininity. You just feel happy, and you can feel more than if people look when you are in stealth mode. You can feel that people are looking because you look good, instead of people looking because you look weird. If I'm dressing visibly and I want to get attention and I want to just be me, then I always leans towards thinking that people think I'm cute or like good looking or something more positive than strange. So it brings happiness with that. We had this box of old clothing that my parents had like gathered around from their years. Like there was cowboy hats, cowboy boots, princess dresses, and that meant dressing up. And that was like the whole day spent with just acting and playing and being someone else. And I think that has it's left a very, very deep mark in me, because I did like projects at school surrounding that, and I was calling it self-revelation compared to dressing up. Because a lot of people don't have the knowledge about what's really happening when you're doing it, and like how determined you have to be and how draining it can be. Because most people think it's just like, oh, you go to the doctor and then you will get the help that you want, and then you will just fast forward. But it's really not that, and it's a bit of a struggle. And I think revolving like the whole process, that I think can be good to just speak open about, to not glorify and not make it seem like it's a dream, because it's not a dream, it's just a constant limbo. From time to time, but the most meaningless was when I thought that this whole process would go a lot easier, and it didn't. And the waiting line was turning up to be 2 years to have a first meeting, and then a process of like 1.5, 2 years. You feel very, very helpless in that situation, because I wrote that clinic letters to I was begging them, because I was feeling so low. I was having thoughts of suicide during that time, to just get help and just to get the response that the queue is still like 20 months left. It's just nothing that you can do about your situation, nothing that you can help more than, if you have the money, you can sure go to a private clinic and get help, but not everyone has that the opportunity to do that. That was like calculating. It's like, should I get it from the black market? Should I get it from a clinic? What should I do? I was talking about this with my mom, and she was like, she's a nurse, so she knows about that. And she was like, do not get it from the black market. And there's another clinic like Gender GP in the UK that you can have a like 6-week process and then they ship it to you. But then some of my friends that had that, they were stopped by the customs. So they didn't get the medicine out correctly. So it's a bit of a hassle, like, because you have to take it continuously. So I just decided to weather the storm and, I don't know, get help. Some days it's fine, but some days it's just very hard to handle, and it caused me a very great harm in my life. But going struggle that I know I will still have for like the rest of my life, because the gender affirming process will not completely erase that, because I still have thoughts in my head and will still have. So the whole gender dysphoria thing is something you will be able to handle more, I would say. I have to like really give a thought about it if I'm gonna change how society have told me to look, or how I feel to look. Because it was one time when I was at the clinic and the doctor asked me, what do you want to have for help from us to feel better? And I said, I want to be perceived as the girl that I am, and it's good enough. And she gave me the response that, oh, but you're so tiny and petite. Don't people recognize you as the girl now? And that, me having a history of ED, just spiraled through and just, oh, so my proportions are supposed to be skinny and petite. And then when you are like thinking about how will this transition be affecting me, should I like aspire to have like the hourglass shape, or should I have this? Should I have long hair? Do I have to do my face? Do I have to, like, it's all of that pressures that society puts on women that trickles down to the transition as well. And then you have to just know that, do I want to have big boobs for I want to have big boobs, or does society wants me to have big boobs? And it's a bit of a hustle in the brain. I haven't really figured that out. Because a lot of trans people turn out to be hyper masculine or hyper feminine just because of their history, and they do not want to not be perceived as a man or a woman. So they go the hyper way, and that's like the stereotype, like Barbiecore or Cancore. If I felt more at home in my body, that would be great. My whole life is just focusing about that currently, so it's the one thing I can literally hope for all pieces just falling to the right place. I'm literally laying all my cards into this and just hoping for big money. I think that a lot of my problems in life are correlating with my gender dysphoria. Sometimes when you meet someone and they treat you exactly how you present yourself, it's like the most minimum thing. But if someone says the right pronouns, says everything right, and just treat me like woman that I am, that's like giving me a little hint of how I could be if just someone does it. And then I could barely imagine how it would feel if everyone treated me that way. But you never know. If I dress in stealth mode and I'm being misgendered, then I do not really, like, yeah, it's fine, I guess. But if it's some days that I'm actually trying to look more feminine and I still get misgendered, then it's just like a slap in the face. And if it's from people that I know that misgender me, then it's just disrespect. And if I have told someone that I have a certain pronouns and they're still not using it, then they are too lazy to engage in a serious relationship between two people in that way. So it can literally bring a very, very good day to like a very, very bad day. No one more than my romantic partner has nothing to do with my genitals. So the audacity people have with when they can't pinpoint if I have a vagina, if I have a dick, like they seem to have the freedom to ask whatever they want. And because you are trans, they think that you are here to educate everyone. And yeah, I'm just sick and tired about people wanting to know what I have between my legs. And if I'm gonna get boobs, how big boobs will I have? It's just the fascination that people have about the trans body that's just tiring. One more thing is people can go around and ask my name and then like, oh, but what was your name before? Some people do not really care about that, but if you have tried to erase that whole thing, then you might not want to tell people that. I don't know, I think they are just their general curiosity, not intending harm, but they're causing harm. I guess just say sorry and then not make a big deal. Some people can misgender one, and then if I correct them or my friends do, then they can just say, "Oh, sorry, I didn't know," or "Yeah, I'm sorry," and not victimize themselves, because some people are, "Oh, but I'm a good person. I'm not transphobic. I'm that. I'm this and that." You can just say sorry, and then do good or do better, and then it's fine. I think that the thought process that I had before I dared even to come out as trans, I was literally thinking that if I come out as trans, I will not be able to have a family, I will not be able to have a job, I will not be able to have a romantic relations. I will be denied this because of my transness, because I'm being an outcast, or I'm being someone who's not desirable, or someone who's problematic. So I kept that like hidden for a very long time and tried to like hide it with a lot of weightlifting and trying to be as masked as I could. But it then just pushed me down this route about being, or like spoiling my ED, or a depression and just being stressed generally, and to the point that I don't care if I am being lonely. I don't care about me not having a partner or kids. I just want to be genuinely me, because I was basically choosing like, should I die? Should I live? Should I die this way or live this way? And I didn't want to live like that theater all the time. I just hide my emotions all the time. So I think the genuinely feeling that trans people have to want to be themselves purely without minimizing themselves or their own personality is a thing that everyone can learn from, because it's all about self-love in the end and choosing you more than choosing preconception people have on yourself. It's very tragic. I think about this a lot. I see myself how I restricted myself from an early age with food, and how that made my teens miserable. And with my gender dysphoria, that was like the base for that ED. How I was scared of coming out is like a time lost. I haven't really experienced my life as I should have if I was born in the right body, which means I have lost like 27 years now, more or less taken away like good childhood, but up to an age of 12. Of course, it's not always been miserable, but the underlying tone of just sadness that I have lost a lot joy in life because of me not being me. And some part of that has been, like, me moving to Stockholm has, of course, helped a lot, because I think my self view, it was basically fucked up. And I think that when I started modeling, I had such a weird relationship to my body and myself, because of my views on my body and how it should look. But then when I got into modeling, and I was this product that someone else liked, but I didn't like. So it made me more aware that I was not the way I was saying to myself, basically. So the whole process of meeting new people and getting new viewpoint of myself has made that I do not disregard all years, but I can say that I have not lived to the fullest. But I'm looking forward to just talk about your emotions and how you feel, and try to describe them, because people cannot read minds. Because I think a lot of my time that I had that was bad, and I'm grieving that time now, is because I didn't know about this situation that could be a reality for people. And I think if I had spoken out about that, because my parents and my family, they had thoughts about me being like something special, but because I didn't tell them about my emotions, they couldn't confirm that, so I couldn't get help early on. In that sense, I just wished I could tell them my emotions to get help, and to not have to have this grieving time now in life. It was me choosing to live life and to get help, and to try to really see how important health is, because I've been disregarding how to take care of my body and how to take care of my mental health for a long time. So I think, just to sum it up very quickly, the decision to get help and now receive help. Oh, my family, hands down, they've been through and through everything. They've seen everything, and I'm very lucky to have a whole family with not just my close family, but my chosen family as well, and to be so supportive in everything I want to do. And I'm very privileged in that sense that not many else do have. It's literally recently, because I got my approval from the clinic last week, and then they said it's good to go, it's full force forward. And then I was just that day laying in my bed with my dog, and just the sun was shining. I called my mom, I cried, and then I was like, I have a job, I have a best friend that I live with, I have a dog, I have this now. I'm very content with my life, and it's like feeling not had that for like maybe 15 years. So it's just the emotion just to be like, just to have a nice time now, just have a good life. Remember this as like some kind of starting point, when I freshly got some good news in my life that is kind of now recorded in some way, and I can just maybe look back and imagine the emotions that I had.